countdown begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually for Zerb, for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times, and don't mess up the cash flow, we live.
What up, what up, what up? Raze back live again on this Wednesday morning live stream, guys. And we have breaking news. Big time breaking news coming from the Diddy trial, guys. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Oh, man. For all the people that were saying Diddy's defense had no defense. Diddy is wasting his money on his defense team. You guys have just been hit with a nuclear bomb because multiple charges have been dropped. Multiple charges have been dropped courtesy of the feds. Let's just say the predicated charges to certain charges in the RICO have been dropped. Now, this is big news, guys. This is huge news. On the day before the closing arguments is supposed to start, you know, they're supposed to start tomorrow, Thursday, and then go into Friday, and then it's going to go to the jurors for a verdict. This is huge. We have arson and kidnapping. Arson and kidnapping were dropped by the feds, guys. Those were the state charges. They were dropped. And also some portions of the sex trafficking. And you know, the sex trafficking is the big one, because the sex trafficking can get you 15 years to life. 15 years minimum, guys. 15 years minimum. And they dropped the aiding and abetting portion of that. Now, there's still some parts of the sex trafficking that is in the charge that is still going to be up for, verdict for the jury, but they have dropped the aiding and abetting portion of the sex trafficking. And guys, what does this mean, guys? Many people have their theories of what's going on. We know that the Diddy's defense team filed for motion for rule number 29, asking the judge to acquit Diddy before it even goes to the jurors. You know, they laid out their case of why these charges, why the feds did not prove the charges as far as S trafficking, RICO, just all 5 counts. All 5 counts. They claiming, look, the feds did not prove their case, and we demand that the judge throw this out. So is this a preemptive strike? Because I think the judge is going to make this ruling today on that. Did the feds just say, you know what? Let's take out some of these charges, as a preemptive strike, so we won't get the whole case thrown out by the judge or whatever. So to save themselves some embarrassment, because kidnapping and arson, guys, kidnapping was concerning the Capricorn Clark when she said that she was held inside the hotel for days, and also kidnapping concerning Cassie. Kidnapping concerning Cassie, guys. I guess with that hotel video, they was trying to say that Diddy kidnapped her inside the hotel after the beatdown. He was trying to kidnap her, and of course Capricorn Clark, like I just said, as far as being held inside of the hotel, I believe, for and giving lie detector tests and this and that. Those were huge, guys. Those are huge. And as far as arson, we all know Kid Cudi's car. They decided to drop that. They decided to drop that out of the argument going forward. And man, what, this is big news, guys. Huge news. Diddy has gotten this win, guys. I'm telling you, all you people were saying, Diddy's defense team is, inept and this and that. You guys have just got hit with a sledgehammer. You guys have just got hit with a sledgehammer, guys. Come on. I've been watching this case. I've been following this case. And I think in within like the third week, this is when I decided that this case is trash, garbage. And the reason I say in this case is trash and garbage because I believe that this should not have been a federal RICO racketeering. I believe this was a waste of time. This should not have went for the federal RICO racketeering. They could have got him on state charges. Could have got him on assault and all this other stuff using this with the state. You know what I mean? Instead of dropping this atomic bomb on federal RICO racketeering. And I gave them a chance. I didn't come to that decision until like three and a half weeks in, into the case, into the trial, right? I was holding out. I said, let me see what they got. And I'm just like going through the witnesses, and I was really analyzing what the charges really are and seeing all of these witnesses come up there and testify and seeing what type of evidence that they had. A lot of the evidence was circumstantial, no real hardcore evidence. And I'm like, yeah, this case is trash. Why are the feds even pursuing this? Like I said, jaywalking is a crime. Yeah, there were some crimes committed. Jaywalking is a crime, but you're not prosecuting people for jaywalking. Why are the feds even pursuing this? Yeah, there were some crimes committed, definitely 100%, and some crimes in the RICO were committed. Even, with the prostitution, the sex trafficking, they were committed. But why is the feds even pursuing? You don't have to pursue every single thing. Like I said, jaywalking is a crime. You don't have to pursue. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is what's going on here. And today, the bomb hit. No arson. So basically, Kid Cudi went down here for no reason. And testified. You know what I'm saying? Because now they dropping his portion. People were claiming it. Yeah, Diddy did that arson and this and that. Well, Diddy's defense team obviously proved that he didn't, or proved that the feds could not prove that he did. You get what I'm saying? Salute, Jake. Salute, Dwight. How you doing, Dwight? Salute to you, Dwight. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. T. Williams is in the building. Salute you, T. Williams. Case is about to get dismissed, says T. Williams. You think so? You think, like I said, what does this mean, guys? What does this mean? Man, I like I said, I've been watching this trial, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's a possibility Diddy could actually beat a lot of these charges. You know what I mean? This is not, like I said, no, there was no A minors. This is not a case with like R. Kelly. I keep reminding people there's not no underage victims in this case. This is a huge loss for the feds right here. And this is, this didn't come down courtesy of the judge. They decided to take it out because they know they're not stupid. The prosecution, they're not stupid. They know they couldn't prove the arson. They couldn't prove the kidnapping. So they said, let's just take this out right now before the judge dropped the hammer on us, because that Rule 29 is out there. That Rule 29 that the defense found is out there waiting for the judge's decision on whether or not to throw out the charges. Because the Rule 29, the judge himself could have thrown out the charges. So I guess they said, like, you know what? Instead of having a judge draw out the charges and embarrass us and make us really look bad in front of the jury, let's go ahead and just, take these little charges out right now. And you know what I'm saying, and act like, this is no big deal. This is just, procedure. We're just like streamlining the charges, making it easier for the jurors to understand. Guys, come on, guys. I'm not falling for that. The feds have egg on their face right now, and this is embarrassing, guys. This is embarrassing for them. They have to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? You bring in Kid Cudi to testify about that arson. You have to drop. They dropped it. They like, there's no proof. A lot of this stuff, there's no proof, guys, of Diddy actually doing it. You would have to just take the words of some of these witnesses who have been kind of shady. Some of these witnesses are drug addicts. They have lawsuits on the line, and they've been subpoenaed to come testify. So they won't get hit with criminal charges. So of course they're going to play ball and try to spice up their testimony to help the feds. You know what I'm saying? I was like, come on, it's obvious. I think the case is trash. I think this is. I said this like a couple of weeks ago when I really was, studying it and going down to the courthouse. I believe this is an overreach, and many people are starting to realize. Now, you still got holdouts. Some people that were really, wanting Diddy to be guilty and thrown in jail for 25 years to life and this and that. They can't bring themselves to admit that maybe they were wrong, and that the feds are overreaching with a lot of these charges. Like I said, Jesse Shorts, Diddy gonna beat this case? They haven't proved the charges, especially the RICO charge. They only have proved he is a freak and abusive, but the other stuff no good. Yes, the other stuff they are reaching. The other stuff, yeah, you can say, yeah, he is guilty on some of the sex stuff, like the prostitution, the Mann Act, and stuff like that. But like, why even bring those charges? Why pursue it? Like I keep mentioning jaywalking. Jaywalking is illegal. Or they pursuing jaywalking, hunting people down? Why aren't they pursuing the OnlyFans people? Then, if that's the case, because you could get OnlyFans people for trafficking, I guess, and people that pay them and to fly across state lines to go engage in sex and this and that on the OnlyFans page and all types of other nonsense. They don't pursue that. They don't. You don't have to pursue a lot of these things. So why are they even pursuing Diddy with this? You know what I mean? When his crimes mainly was freak offs and him getting it on with consenting adults. Like I said, if they want to do state charges and try to get him on assault and all this other stuff, fine. But to drop the hammer of RICO Racketeering, from what I'm looking at with this evidence, it just was unnecessary. He was overcharged, says T. Williams, and now the Feds is trying to cut some of this stuff back. They trying to cut some of this stuff back. Now, of course, you're still gonna have the people that's 10 toes down on the Fed side and trying to twist it and turn it like this is a great strategy for the Feds. But guys, the defense is going to use this. The defense is going to use this in the closing arguments and tell in front of the jurors, look, they had to drop some of these charges because they didn't prove their case. And this is what they're saying. The Diddy defense is saying, look, the Feds did not prove their case. We don't need any witnesses. We need any witnesses. They didn't prove their case. Jurors. And this is more evidence they didn't prove their case. They dropping the arson and kidnapping. Hit the like button, guys. You guys come in. They're dropping the arson and kidnapping. They're going to say that in front of those jurors, those 12 jurors. Seeding doubt inside the heads of the jurors that the prosecution did not prove their case. And now they have tangible evidence that they didn't prove it because they are dropping the arson. They're dropping the kidnapping. This is huge. This is huge. People could try to spin it any way they want. But this is huge. Huge victory for Diddy. Huge victory for Diddy. Like I said, shout out to you, Drabanot. Shout out to you, Fake Miko. Salute to you, Fake Miko. Diddy is walking, Jack Black. Will Diddy walk? Press 1 for yes, put 2 for no. Will Diddy walk? Jack Black. Shout out to you, Jack Black. Diddy walking. Jack Black says Diddy is walking. I am telling you, Diddy is going home, says Rose Wright. Fake Miko said he got the baby. Oh man. If the jury asks for some baby or you Diddy going home, says Rasta Saint. And people were like, well, the defense don't got no defense. Nobody want to testify on Diddy's behalf. He ha ha, he ha ha. And now y'all get hit with this. Now y'all left scrambling. He's walking eggs on their faces. Welcome home, Puff. Maria says hi. Shout out to you, Maria. How you feeling, Maria? What do you think about this breaking news? On the day before closing arguments starts, guys, Diddy's that high-powered defense team is gonna see this. They're gonna, like, they say, you take an inch. I mean, you give an inch, they take a mile. Diddy's defense team is gonna run with this news, guys. They're gonna run with this news in front of those 12 jurors and be like, look, they are not proving their case. They had to drop the kidnapping and arson charges in some parts of the sex trafficking. This is huge, big time victory. Huge victory. Huge victory. Even Tisa tells like was she had to break the news earlier. She had to break the news. She was not happy. She was trying to, find some spin to it, and why this could be a good strategy, and this and twisting words and it. No, Diddy's defense team is going to Brian Steele and those guys, Agniflio, they are going to Westmoreland. They are going to run with this. This is huge. They're going to get the final word. I think the Feds is going to be able to respond after the Diddy's defense team closes they close their case, or make their final argument on Friday. I think the prosecution going to have like a little rebuttal opportunity, but this is huge. This is huge. How can the Feds explain this in that courtroom, that they were forced to drop the kidnapping and arson charges? Well, they weren't enforced by the judge, but they decided to drop it because, like I said, that Rule 29 is still out there where the judge can throw out the case altogether. He can acquit Diddy today. He can acquit Diddy today if we really want to. Now, people were like, "No, he ain't gonna do that. It's gonna go to the jurors." But I think the Feds just went on and did this just in case. They don't want to get embarrassed, and they don't want the judge himself to throw these out. See, if the judge himself would have threw these out, that would have been even worse for the Feds, because definitely they would have used that. Diddy's defense team would have used that. The judge threw this out. You know what I mean? You might as well throw out the whole thing. You might as well throw out the whole thing. You can't trust these witnesses. The Feds, they fell short on proving their case. Guys, this is huge, guys. This is huge, guys. This is huge. Now I've been telling you guys. I've been telling you. I've been following it. I'm like, this case is first of all unnecessary, and Diddy, and I already said 15 years to life for these charges. I'm not buying it. No way, no how. I would like 3 to 5 years max for the crimes that I see. 3 to 5 years and some probation. You know what I'm saying? Now with them dropping the arson and kidnapping, because those are violent acts. You know what? Forget about 3 years. Forget about 3 years, because remember the assault of Cassie is not in the charges. So you know what? Forget about 3 years. You know what? Just probation. I say probation. 10 years, not even 15 years, not even a Young Thug. Young Thug got 15 years probation. I'm saying 10 years probation. 10 years probation, plea deal, 10 years probation. Feds offer that and give them some drug treatment and call it a day. Call it a day. All right, Rasta Saint. Rule number una, Nevada. Let no one know how much does you hold, because do you think the states will pick up the charges that the FBI dropped? Might be. I don't know how that works. I don't know. Will the state, I mean, let's say if he was to be, let go, whatever, come down with if he was to be get a plea deal, whatever, right? Will the state follow up with those charges? Will the state do it? I don't know if they can they? Will they? I mean, I don't know, because it was the charges was inside the Feds thing. I don't know, and that's when it's time. It'll be time for Diddy to go ahead and join Russell Simmons out there inside Bali, Indonesia. You know what I'm saying? Just in case, right? Might be. You know what I'm saying? Use that passport. Join Russell Simmons out there inside and don't even celebrate 4th of July in New York or LA. Don't celebrate in the States. Celebrate in Bali, Indonesia with Russell Simmons. Where there's no extradition treaty to bring you back just in case they try that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maria. Hit the like button, guys. This is huge, guys. You know, you guys, this is huge. This is huge. More monkey gossip. Well, the thing is, Bear, you call it more monkey gossip. This is facts. What's that? Bear, whatever the hell name you got. This is fact. This is not gossip. This is facts. Your guys, your feds have dropped arson and kidnapping. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gossip. This is facts. Yeah. Yes, Diddy is going to beat it, says Maria. So Maria is confident he's going to beat it. RC Styles in the what up, RC? Baby oil is not a crime, says RC Styles. OnlyFans true if so. Yes. Yeah. So what's up with the OnlyFans models and the OnlyFans and all that stuff that be going down on OnlyFans? Now, I don't know 100% what be going down on OnlyFans because I'm not subscribed to OnlyFans like that. I don't know exactly. But quite sure they can bust some of these OnlyFans people for engaging in acts of, sex for pay and this and that across state lines, sex trafficking. Why not? Because, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not calling for them to do it at all. I'm not calling for them to do it. But some stuff you just don't bring on charges for. You know what I'm saying? Like, why hit Diddy with these sex trafficking charges? Like, what's the point of that? It was no need. It was no need. Like, it's unnecessary. And like I said, you want to hit people with jaywalking. I think they had got Tupac for jaywalking at one point. And Tupac were like, oh, this is trumped up charges because they wanted to get him for something. They wanted to mess with him. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to mess with Diddy. They're messing with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? There's no underage minors involved in this stuff. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no kidnapping involved. So if they had to drop the kidnapping of Capricorn Clark, what else was she lying about? And not lying, but what like if they got to drop some of this stuff, I mean, now you got to drop some of that Jane Doe nonsense. You got to. I mean, they don't have the jurors just say not guilty, man. To be honest with you, the jurors just should say not guilty in all the counts at this point. Except like it just say not guilty because listen, as when you're feds and you bringing on these charges, you have all these witnesses going up there, and your witnesses are not credible. You know what I'm saying? And if you finding out some of these witnesses are not credible, which ones are then? Which witnesses are credible? Which testimony is credible? You know what I'm saying? Like this is crazy. This is crazy. I say Diddy should just get probation now. Forget about 3. I was like, well, 3 years. Let's let him sit for 3 years. He did beat up Cassie. Let him sit for 3 years. But now with this nonsense, they had to drop the arson, drop the kidnapping. And those are huge, man. They come on. This girl Brianna, she lied and basically said he dangled her off the 17th floor balcony. He could have dropped her to her death. What about that testimony? Yo, she had the dates wrong. She had the evidence wrong. I mean, come on, guys. They need to just go ahead and drop this whole case. Matter of fact, the judge should just drop this whole case. To be honest with you, he should drop a bomb today and just say he's acquitting Diddy. And don't even go because like this is nonsense. How you gonna have witnesses go there and say all of this crazy stuff, and you're trying to get this guy in jail for 15 years to life, and now you have to drop some of the charges. You got to drop the kidnapping, the arson. These are violent acts. So if you got to drop this, what is true? What was true with some of these witnesses you brung to testify on your behalf? What is true? What is true? And what is fiction? And where's your evidence? Where is your evidence? A lot of this stuff is circumstantial. Now, if I was in a jury, I would like, when I first started going down to the court, I was like, well, I would like to believe some of these witnesses. I'm like, why would they come up here and lie? But it's like, now looking at it, some of them are lying. What am I supposed to believe as a juror at this point? What am I supposed to believe as a juror? Now, I want to see the feds explain the reason in front of those jurors why they dropped the arson and kidnapping. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, they're trying to make it easier for the jurors to understand. Those who are actually kidnapping and federal and those are state charges, the kidnapping and arson and aiding and abetting for the sex trafficking. They're trying to make it more easier. And this come on, guys. Diddy's defense team is going to destroy them, and I'm going to be out there. They're going to destroy them with this. All they need is one juror to have some common sense. This is a common sense trial. This is a common sense defense. And Diddy's defense team they are brilliant. For anybody to say Diddy's defense team, they're incompetent. Why they didn't call a witness, Raze? They could at least call one character witness, Raze. And I just laugh. I'm like, oh, y'all guys kidding me? These are high-powered lawyers. They know what the hell they're doing. If they say they're not calling a witness to be cross-examined by the feds, then I'm backing them 100%. If they feel that they didn't need a character witness to talk about how great Diddy is, I'm rocking with them. Because only the feds would have just cross-examined and said, look, how can your witness say that Diddy is a great guy? All they would have did was bring up the Cassie beatdown video again in front of those jurors and ask them, how can you say he's a great guy when he beat Cassie up? That's all would have happened. So Diddy's defense team says, you know what? No need for that. We're not going to put any witnesses up there. We don't need it. The feds didn't prove their case. They didn't prove their case. They didn't prove kidnapping. They didn't prove arson. Yeah, we heard about it, but they didn't. They have zero. They have no proof of a lot of these charges, guys. The feds have no proof. They have no proof. RICO Lou Lamani, and I'm telling you, when I see people are just so in shock. They're like, how can the feds go into this without proof of what they're what? Come on, some employees. Like I said, Diddy's team is saying this is not a conspiracy organization. This is not a conspiracy. He did not conspire with KK, with the Karam lady, to do crimes. He was trying to hide some of his freak offs from Karam. This is not some grand conspiracy with the D-Rock, the bodyguards, to commit criminal acts on Diddy's behalf so he can enjoy freak offs and sex. Come on, what kind of case is this? This case is trash, pure trash. You know what I'm saying? What kind of charges are these? They're saying Diddy's team, they saying Bad Boy Records is a criminal enterprise because the security guards, some workers, was helping him with his crimes to set up freak offs with consenting adults, guys, and help him get high by purchasing some personal use drugs. This is their reason for Bad Boy Records being a criminal enterprise and some of his employees being criminals, which they were granted immunity, being criminals. Thus, this is the reason why they brought forth criminal racketeering charges. The same type of charges you would bring forth towards the mafia, the mob. Are you effing kidding me? What a joke. What a joke. What a joke. This is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. The liquor company wanted to embarrass him. Now I'm starting to believe that now. I'm not a conspiracy theory person. I'm like, why? Yeah, why was this even brought forth to court in this manner? Like, what's the point? This should have been a state case for assault. This should like shout out to you, Chip. And I heard like people, they was like, oh, they want to confiscate his houses and cars because of the RICO. I'm like, why? He didn't earn those houses and cars because he was profiting from these RICO racketeering charges. He wasn't selling drugs. He wasn't selling drugs in the street and making a profit. He wasn't selling prostitutes and making a profit, thus allowing him to buy his car, his houses. Why are they going to confiscate his house? He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't earn that because of drug money. So why are they why are they talking about confiscating his house and this and that? You know what I'm saying? He earned that from record sales. He earned like his company was a legit company. This is madness. And I'm no legal expert at all. I'm just using common sense. I'm no legal expert at all. This is just common sense. I'm so happy this morning to hear they already rushed to drop stuff. Yes, they're scrambling. The feds are trying to undercut. You see, the feds are trying to do. They're trying to undercut Diddy's defense. But the thing is, Diddy's defense is going to use this. They were trying to undercut the Rule 29 also, because you just never know what the judge is going to rule on with that. Because if the judge would have dropped some of these charges, it would have been just as bigger news. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, the Diddy haters are going to try to spin this to try to make it seem like the feds is playing chess and this and that. But I mean, I don't see it. You know, well, they're going to try to spin it. I mean, you know, the feds is going to have to try to spin it, you know, because they still got to go in front of those jurors and try to spin this, make it seem like they're doing the jurors a favor by making it easier for them to understand. Like I said, I was thinking yesterday, these are some convoluted charges. You know, this is very convoluted. The case is convoluted. There's gray areas to trying to prove this is RICO. This is a conspiracy, a grand conspiracy by Diddy's employees. You know, Christina Karam, she booked the flight. Oh, she booked hotel rooms and set up the hotel rooms to have all this baby oil in there. RICO, that means RICO, Raze Racketeering. They were doing their job. They were setting up flights. That's their job, to set up flights. It's their job to, if Diddy wants some flowers and chocolate candies inside the hotel room, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna put it in there for him. Even Diddy's defense is like, look, some of the security guards came to Cassie's aid. They weren't trying to cover up anything. They said, look, the bribery. Well, what bribery? They just wanted the tape back. They wanted the tape back because they didn't want things like TMZ and the media to get that Cassie beatdown video and put it out there. Cassie got a movie coming out. Diddy trying to protect his reputation. They didn't want to get to the tabloids. Cassie wasn't filing charges. She had no intention of filing charges for that. So they did not obstruct justice. They didn't bribe the police for that tape. There was no police investigation. So there is no bribery, which is a predicate in the RICO also. So they got rid of these predicates: the kidnapping of Capricorn Clark and Cassie, and the arson of Kid Cudi's vehicle, which those were predicates in the RICO. You know what I mean? Those are two violent predicates. Also, they got rid of a portion of the sex trafficking, not the full sex trafficking, but you know, the sex trafficking, that's a big one. That's 15 years to life. They got rid of the aiding and abetting portion of the sex trafficking. New York is a blue state. Men stand no chance in court. Hallelujah says, salute. She said, one, he's getting off. So Diddy is getting off. One, he's getting off. One, he's getting off. Two, he's not getting off. Boathead says. Zeb says no. Zeb, what you got to say about this, Zeb? Are you gonna? What you got to say? You gotta be little. This gotta be concerning to you, Zeb. This gotta be this has to be concerning for you, Zeb. We won, guys. Jerry Leonardo, he's walking. Yes, he's going home. Hope not. Yeah, hope not. Yeah, people still holding out some hope. Still holding out some hope. Sandra still holding out some hope. The jury is all Diddy fans. Listen, and I'm just reading to you the facts, guys. You know, I gave them a chance. And then I started realizing. I said, wait a minute. After 3 weeks of watching this stuff, and this is like a few weeks ago, I'm like, this is a trash charge. This is a trash case. Why even bring this case? That's my main thing. Yeah, you can prove some of the stuff, some of the RICO stuff. You could prove it, but why? Why even why? Like this is mainly prostitution. This is mainly prostitution and personal use drugs. So why even pursue this? Like, I mean, I guess it's their right to pursue it, but why? Like, what's the like? I don't get it. I don't, like I said, if you pursue this, pursue the OnlyFans people. Then, I mean, like, why pursue it? Like, I don't get it. Like, and you gotta do twists and turns. You gotta like copy and paste a RICO racketeering thing together just to make it fit the narrative. It's like, right, well, these employees, they were, so what did these employees go to Bad Boy Records knowing that they were going to be committing crimes, knowing they were going to get down underneath Bad Boy Records and conspire with Diddy to do freak offs and deal drugs and transport drugs and profit from it. So they joined this criminal organization, a la the mafia, because the mob, when you join in the mob, you join in a criminal organization. That's the difference. When you joining La Costa Nostra, you knowingly going there to engage in racketeering. You knowing that is the difference. That's why I don't understand why bring forth racketeering RICO charges against Bad Boy Records. Those people went to work for Bad Boy Records to do regular work, not to engage in racketeering and engage in criminal activities knowingly. What is this? I'm here today. I'm saying the judge should throw the whole thing out, to be honest with you. This sets a horrible precedent. They use a RICO racketeering for stuff that wasn't meant to be used for. It's crazy. How does the trial continue knowing the prosecution allowed liars to lie, understand how does this continue? That's what I'm saying. The judge should just throw the whole thing out. Just acquit him. Acquit him. Teach the feds a lesson, because you can't allow this to go on. It's like the feds came in with this, throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And that's not cool, because you're getting crazy allegations thrown out there. July 4th celebration, Puff Daddy going home. Tisa telling tales, says Maria. Oh, man. Why don't the judge rule okay, cool on Rule 29 or Rule 26 already and quit? Yeah, I mean, just throw this out. Just throw the case out. You know what I mean? Because like I said, this is not some criminal organization. I think they're using, I think the feds are, I think the feds are taking advantage of RICO racketeering. I think the feds are playing dirty with this RICO racketeering stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? They're using a RICO racketeering very, very loosely. And shout out to you, Brandon Clark. You hit me up earlier, Brandon Clark. Salute to you, Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark, yeah. Shout out to you, Brandon Clark, man. They didn't throw out sex trafficking totally. They just threw out the aiding and abetting portion of it. So sex trafficking is still there. These are prerequisites for the RICO charges. But shout out to you, Brandon Clark. I think Johnny. All right. Dittler's done, says Tony. This is huge. The case is weak. Free Diddy. Yeah, this weekend's their case. This weekend's the RICO case. There's no other way to look at it. If this case shows that it take money to beat the feds. Can you imagine the number of people serving max sentences who were overcharged? Yes, T. Williams. What a disaster. You're right. You're right, T. Williams. White Hope says hell no. Probably going to get 15 years probation, says Jeremy Leonardo. He shouldn't even get 15 years probation. Young Thug got 15 years probation. And Young Thug got 15 for gang land activities, including shootouts and stuff like that. I think he should get less. He should get yet less than young. He should get 10 years probation, if that. Hell, 7 years. Do 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 do. Rule 29 would have been in effect, and he would have walked today if they didn't have something worth keeping him in jail. Rule 29 would have been in effect. Yeah, well, the judge didn't make the decision yet on Rule 29. You know, the judge didn't make the decision, and I believe that this the feds trying to undercut the judge decision. You know, because the judge could have put that in effect and dropped the charges himself. He could have dropped some of these charges himself. You know what I mean? So I think this is just a play on the feds to undercut the judge, just in case the judge decides to drop the whole thing or drop some of the charges. Zeb, this is obviously anybody that has some common sense looking at this. This is obviously a play to undercut that. Usually doesn't work that way. Most times state drops charges and the feds pick them up. Rarely do federal cases turn into state cases, says Jesse Short. So that also somebody was asking about would the state pick it up? Would the state pick up the charges if the feds, drop them? So Jesse says a lot of times it works in reverse. So that was the answer to that. Thank you for that. Yes, I'm for real. They dropped some of the predicated or prerequisite charges inside the big charges. The arson, the Kid Cudi, and the kidnapping of Capricorn Clark and Cassie, which those are that's huge. Predicate acts. Predicate acts, yes. Right here, there's 2 RICO acts left. Like I said, throw them all out because I can't trust the witnesses. I can't trust what the Fed is doing. Just throw them all out because why should I believe any of the other witnesses in those other 2 RICO acts? You know what I'm saying? Well, why should I believe that all the other people are credible? If I was in a jury, why should I believe any of this stuff now? You know what I'm saying? Why? Like, how does the judge allow? Somebody asked, how does the judge allow certain stuff to continue? Why isn't the judge making remarks? You know what I'm saying? Throwing some of this stuff out himself. I know the judge is one of the more newer judges. He's not a crazy veteran judge. So the fact that they dropped some charges brings reasonable doubt into play, which is what he needs to win. Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of this stuff is circumstantial evidence anyway. They didn't have hardcore evidence on a lot of this stuff anyway. I mean, text messages about this and that, but it's like, all right. First of all, this is not a conspiracy. I don't believe Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization anyway. So this should not be racketeering anyway. To begin with. The escorts were entertainers. Yes, that's what they're saying. Diddy's team is saying the escorts and entertainers, they were not prostitutes, and that's who they hired. They hired entertainers, and they did not necessarily cross state lines. So, and people have been trying to tell people that Diddy don't have no defense. Diddy's lawyers were incompetent. Well, you guys have been just smacked over the head with a bottle of peroxide. For the people that said that, how is Tisa Tells going to spin this? How are the Diddy haters going to spin this as favorable? There's no spinning this. Well, Razor Raze, you're no legal expert. You're no legal expert, Razor Raze. There's a method to the madness. The feds know what they're doing, Razor Raze. Well, I say Diddy's defense team knows what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The perjury was disgusting. Yeah. And why isn't the judge stepping in? Why isn't this judge stepping in and telling the jurors, look, you got to discard this testimony, discard the Brianna testimony because she perjured herself. Her dates was horribly wrong. The metadata show on her phone that that date that she said she was assaulted hung over that balcony. when she showed the bruises, those photos, the metadata in the phone shows that on that date, Diddy wasn't even in LA. He was in New York at the Trump Hotel. So he could not have been there to even ding you over the 17th floor balcony and maybe drop you in because the baby oil you want to, you slip out of his arms, he drop you to your death. What kind of crazy story is that? And the judge just allowed it. He's still allowing it. I thought when you go to court, you got to have evidence. And if your witnesses are shot or kind of suspect, the judge is supposed to step in. You know what I'm saying? What's the judge? Why is the judge there then? If he's not going to step in, like, it's crazy. The juror decision's been made up. They know way more than we do. Zeb, you're wishful thinking. You see, Zeb, Zeb is holding out hope. Zeb is hoping. Zeb, so you got no opinion on the kidnapping and arson and portions of the sex trafficking getting dropped? So you got no opinion on that? You just saying, all right, well, hey, you're holding out hope. Keep hope alive, right? Keep hope alive. It looks bad that they had to drop after all that. Yeah, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive, Zeb. Can the defense speak about Brianna perjury lies so they will know not to deliberate about that testimony? They tried already. They went for a mistrial on the Brianna perjury lies. The judge just laughed it off, says, "Oh, yeah, I had y'all Perry Mason moment and this and that." He just laughed it off and said, "Nope, no mistrial." He didn't tell the jury to don't disregard that Brianna stuff. Nothing. He did not. So this judge, I mean, you could tell the judge is pro-prosecution. He's a newer judge. He's pro-prosecution. So you're not going to get him to help Diddy out. You ain't going to get him to help him out. Imagine defending a sack of blank like Diddy. Imagine putting somebody in jail for 15 years to life on lies and deceit. I would defend you. And I don't even know your background, Captain. You could be the most, well, you could be a bad person, Captain, but I don't know if you're a good person. I'm assuming you're a good person, Captain. I don't even need to know your background, but I just look at if they had you on these type of charges and the witnesses were shoddy witnesses and shady witnesses, I would say free Captain Crunch also without even knowing your background, your personal history, anything. I'm just here for justice. All right. Now, let me see. Hot Wayne, wow. They know they overcharged Diddy getting 5 years with time served. Yes, Hot Wayne. It's overcharging. I've been saying this for a while now. I believe they overcharged. They know they overcharged. Thus, they had to drop some of the portions of the charges because they know they overcharged. And they know they could not prove some of these overcharges that they overcharged with. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Any new people coming to the stage, hit that like button, guys. Raze, what you think now? Like I said, I think they should just throw the whole thing out. The judge should step in and just throw the whole thing out. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do it. But, they should just throw it out. You know what I'm saying? Defense team was trying their hardest to get Bree testimony thrown out. I bet they won't bring that up. They should bring it up again. They should bring it up in front of the jury. Listen, they're going to throw everything out they're going to bring everything out in their closing statements. This is it. This is winning time right now. The government felt like a mofo. If they provide no evidence of crime, then you must acquit. Yeah. They have been providing zero evidence, just shady testimony. They have been not providing in the RICO garbage. People, they prove RICO. They prove no, because Bad Boy Records is not a criminal organization to begin with. So they might need to throw the whole RICO, throw that racketeering trash out. Bad Boy Records is not a criminal organization. It's not the mafia. Those employees were not part of a criminal organization. This is crazy. what's going on here. They were not employed to do criminal acts. They did not sign up. This is not the mob. The liquor company did this to him, Rose White. Razor was the doorman. Nope. What up, Killer Bro? How you feeling? I mean, Killer Rob. Salute, Killer Rob. Free Diddy. You can hate me now. Won't stop now. You can hate me now. First they went after OJ, then after R. Kelly, after Gucci Man. Now they're going after Diddy. Now we got to remember, R. Kelly got hit with a minor charges, guys. Diddy is not in that situation. People have gotten this very confused. They have not hit Diddy with underage, a minor accusations in his trial. Not one of those people have testified. He was not charged with that stuff like R. Kelly. So this is totally different. Even though R. Kelly did get hit with racketeering also. But R. Kelly was convicted of some underage stuff. Diddy has not even been charged with that stuff. Street smarts, you talk about freak off video Raze. Street smarts, you just mad. This is when people know they're losing. They start saying a video of Raze in the freak offs just because I'm giving you guys the facts of Diddy not running a criminal organization, being overcharged, street smarts. And when I tell you that I wouldn't have mind Diddy to get 3 to 5 years for assaulting Cassie and maybe committing some prostitution crimes, I said give him 3 to 5 years, but this is not federal racketeering. So just because I'm not saying throw the book at him, give him 15 years of life, that must mean Razor Raze was at a freak off. You see how delusional and idiotic Diddy haters are? Because you cannot be unbiased. Guys like Street Smarts don't know. He doesn't know how to be unbiased. He doesn't know how to just let it go. If I'm telling you the feds have dropped arson and kidnapping charges, I'm reporting that. And you can't bring yourself to say, yeah, Razor's right. Maybe they did overcharge. Maybe they did overcharge for at least the kidnapping and arson, since they're dropping those charges, Street Smarts. You can't even bring yourself to admit that them dropping those charges, meaning that they don't have any proof, Street Smarts. Like the biasness that I've been seeing is, but that's just social media. That's just social media. See, people want to hang on to the narrative. Let's see if Tisa Tells hang on to her narrative. Let's see if these other people that have been parading it around, going live 4 times a day, saying Diddy is done, Diddy is guilty, bad news for Diddy. Let's see how they spin this. Nobody want to get off of their narrative. I came into this thing unbiased. I came into this thing neutral, giving the prosecution, giving the feds a chance to prove their case. They haven't. They haven't because I don't believe Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization anyway for you to even bring forth RICO Racketeering charges. They have not proved that Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization. And the defense is doing a great job putting that out there. Stop being biased. Stop being biased, guys. And just admit that you were wrong. We were all gaslit when he first got arrested. The feds overreached. But no, people like Street Smarts and others, maybe Tisa Tells, they're going to still hold on to Diddy getting 25 years to life? He didn't commit a murder. Why are you giving 25 years to life? Raze, he engaged in prostitution, sex trafficking, Raze, minimum 15 years. He's guilty, Raze. Hey, garbage. Judge, throw this thing out. Throw it all out. Acquit him. Because it sets a horrible precedent for the government to bring up federal RICO and racketeering charges on a case like this. It sets a horrible precedent. And I don't want to see nobody, even Street Smarts. I don't want to see a guy like Street Smarts being brung into court and get the atomic bomb, which is RICO racketeering charges, dropped on his head. And he don't got the money like Diddy to Street Smarts. You don't got the money like Diddy to fight it. And I don't want to see you be put in that position of getting overcharged either, Street Smarts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here for justice. Truth in the American way. Hit the like button, guys. Tony Hernandez, Diddy should sue the federal government. This is all bogus. Yeah. You know, this is all bogus, guys. This is crazy. Y'all should do like your criminal element. I just can't condemn people for being a freak. Clinton, yeah, you know, and he is a freak. He's a weirdo. But you know, this is crazy. It's a new trend to go after rich celebrities one by one for their money. Ironic, he didn't listen to his own advice. More money, more problems, says JoJo. Tony suing that liquor company is what got him here. So no trying to sue feds is not a good idea. I knew New York City wasn't going to bury Diddy. He'll walk. This is a different justice system. Ellen DeGeneres can move back to the United States from Portugal. One Love, as we were saying, the charges are BS. Yeah, I'm seeing it more and more now. We were all gaslit, guys. We were all gaslit. Because I was like, all these allegations when he first was arrested, I'm like, well, these are lawsuits and people are trying to get money, but they could be telling the truth. But those wasn't added into the federal criminal charges. So obviously the feds did not look at those lawsuits as credible. And some of those people that was underneath Tony Busby, they didn't find them to be credible to subpoena them to come testify at this court. So, and I'm like, if he's guilty of that stuff, that would make him one of the worst people in the history of the planet. Not just this century. I'm talking about in the history of the planet. If he was guilty of all that stuff, all those crazy accusations, wild accusations, and lawsuits, that would make Diddy one of the top 10 worst human beings in the history of the planet, I was saying. And I said this months ago before this trial even started. But I had to wait and see. I was like, well, let's see the trial. Let's see the evidence. And even then, I was waiting to see when the feds are going to drop the goods. Then I started seeing their witnesses coming up there, being cross-examined by Diddy's defense team. And I'm like, wait a minute, these people are getting caught up in lies. This is all circumstantial evidence. There's no hardcore evidence that this stuff happening. And hell, I don't even believe Diddy's Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization anyway. They need to put you on a jury, Raze. They would never put me. Well, Diddy's team will put me on a jury because I will find out not guilty. You know what I'm saying? I would say not guilty. Not guilty. Pat, I wouldn't say all that, but next time maybe there will be some better stuff. I bought baby or you stock. I'm rich. Shout out to you, K-Bones. Diddy will be diddling again in no time. Good job, Libs, says Ozzy Cosby. So, guys, knowing what y'all know now, will Diddy walk? Shout out to Sunday Night Smoke podcast. Will Diddy walk? Let me just read to you the official stuff, because I just, matter of fact, let me put the headlines up, because, some of you guys probably still is in shock what's going on right now. A day before final, and I'm going to be at the court tomorrow. TMZ, Diddy prosecutors dropping kidnapping, arson, certain sex trafficking charges, which is aiding and abetting, guys. Okay. The government indicated in a letter to the judge, and it's obtained by Fox News, that the theories of attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking will not be pursued any longer. Remember people were saying Diddy's defense team quit because they're not calling any people to testify on Diddy's behalf. Remember that nonsense people was trying to put out there? Remember those lies, that stupidity people were trying to put out there? Diddy's defense team quit. They got nothing. Hee hee ha ha. Nobody's there to defend Diddy. Nobody's there to defend Diddy. Hee hee ha ha. We win. Nope. Guess who quit on these charges? The feds, the prosecutors quit. Report that on your YouTube channels. Yeah. They quit, guys. Listen. Specifically, the government has removed instructions from the charge relating to attempted kidnapping under both California and New York law, attempted arson under California law, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. All right. The government is no longer planning to proceed on these theories. Who's the quitter now? Who's the quitters now? Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. The jury doesn't sentence. The judge does. Yeah, the judges need to throw this out, TK. We all know the jury doesn't sentence. The jury just should say not guilty, because remember, the sex trafficking holds a minimum of 15 years to life. Basically, the sex trafficking, you could get more for sex trafficking than assault. Him assaulting Cassie doesn't even warrant 15 years to life, as far as the minimums is concerned. So the judge he can't go lower than 15 years if the jury does convict him of sex trafficking. And this sex trafficking, consider, bringing in, adults, consenting adults across state lines. So you're going to give him 15 years to life for that, TK? Overreach, trash, garbage case. After seeing all this, we only one day away from our final closing statements. This is a trash, garbage case brought forward for Bad Boy Records. Bad Boy Records is not, and I repeat, not a criminal organization, and that's my opinion. So they should not have been hit with federal RICO racketeering charges. I officially agree with Ray J. I officially agree with Ray J. Not guilty, says Tank. Diddy is winning, John Smith. R. Kelly needed Diddy lawyers. Now, R. Kelly was hit with A minors and underage stuff. So whatever, and we seen him on tape with that minor back in the day. So I ain't defending R. Kelly. So R. Kelly was different. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly was totally different. Hit that like button, says Sunday Night Smoke. Liberal mentality is still saying the prosecution didn't drop the charges. Yeah, it's Anonymous, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If Diddy gets out, his revenge tour is going to be legendary. Yeah. Judge isn't about to draw out the case. He should just, draw it out, because, from what I see, from my vantage point, they didn't prove the case, because Diddy's Bad Boy Records is not a criminal organization. Sorry. He should just throw it out. These charges for racketeering should not have been brought forth. This was these were idiotic charges to begin with. Should have been more state charges. Should have been more like the state could have brought up charges on assault and whatever. If Diddy gets out, his revenge tour is going to be legendary. You got to do the Fat Joe next. See, the Fat Joe, like I said, I'm not going to get caught up in that again because Fat Joe is just a lawsuit. Now, if the feds drop RICO charges on Fat Joe, we're going to cover the Fat Joe case also. But that's just a lawsuit. Somebody trying to get $20 million out of Fat Joe. It's like, you know, I see the allegations, but like all these lawsuits that were filed against Diddy in the beginning, they weren't brought to federal trial where they could bury him. So it's like, well, that's just Fat Joe case, just another lawsuit, another guy trying to get 20 million. I'm not saying he's lying on Fat Joe at all. I'm not saying that at all, guys. I'm just saying I want to wait for the feds, if and when they drop charges on Fat Joe, then I would really dive deep into it and cover that. Because then it's not going to be just somebody that's trying to get money for whatever reason, even if he's not lying. You know what I'm saying? Like the stream, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, says Anonymous, hit that like button, guys. Just the fact. Well, just the facts. What do you got to say about this? Just the facts. What up, bro? What up? Government has dropped charges relating to one attempted kidnapping under both Cali and New York, 2 attempted arson under Cali law and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. I'm happy Diddy getting a fair trial. Hey, Just the Fact says he's happy he's getting a fair trial. See? Happy, but I still think the judge should just throw it out because, like I said, if I can't trust those witnesses for the arson and this and that, what leads me to believe all the other witnesses? Just the facts. You know what I'm saying? So I just say just throw it out. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You tried. You tried to copy and paste a RICO Racketeering trial together. Y'all succeeded in copy and pasting a RICO Racketeering trial together, and you failed. You know what I'm saying? You know, you failed with the copy and pasting. The feds failed. Just the facts. But shout out to you, Just the Facts. You know what I'm saying? You know. Let's see what else they saying right here. Let me see, because this is breaking news, guys. Like I said, I'm just bringing the news, and I never thought that the judge was going to throw this out anyway with the Rule 29, but I didn't think I was going to come up here reporting anything big today, since the jurors is not in there today. You know. All right, it goes on. So this is from TMZ.com. Prosecutors are not dropping the various sex trafficking charges, only elements of it, which is the aiding and abetting part of it. So the sex trafficking charges are still in play. They are dropping the aiding and abetting part. That's what I'm saying. These charges are so convoluted, man, and it's just like, this is convoluted. It's like overreaching. Okay. Prosecutors do say in their letter they want an instruction that just because women like Cassie and Jane gave prior consent to sexual acts, it does not mean that it can never be withdrawn. All right. So, like I said, the kidnapping of Cassie, the kidnapping of Capricorn Clark, those predicates of the RICO has been dropped. Just to update you guys. I know it's kind of confusing for people, because like I said, it's a convoluted case. You know what I'm saying? The prosecution threw everything out there to see what sticks, and some stuff that they threw at the wall is falling off the wall because it's not sticking. You know what I'm saying? It's not sticking. Black men break. Let me see. Hey, Raze, do you think this case is so far a feds and prosecutor bad performance or defense good performance? Both. Both can be true. People wanted the defense to put out some long 2-week defense. Oh, they're not putting out a defense, Razor Raze. Why aren't they putting on a defense? Diddy is paying them good money. Where's Diddy's money going, Razor Raze? Dang. They're not putting on a good defense. How can they only rest their case after 30 minutes, Razor Raze? They're not doing a good job, Razor Raze. Guys, y'all guys know the phrase, sometimes less is more. Diddy's defense team, they are brilliant. They know what they're doing. Watch and learn. Watch and marvel. Brian Steele, he's a master at this. Less is more. Why put up a witness to get cross-examined by the feds, the prosecution? And now the prosecutors are in the desperate straits right now. So you're just going to give them more ammunition to put in front of the jurors to cross-examine whoever was put up there by the defense? Maybe trip them up in lies. Give them an opportunity to continue to show that Diddy beat down video of Cassie again. Say, how can this witness say Diddy is a good person when look at this video? Look at that video, witness. Look at the video, witness. Look. Do you see him stomping on Cassie? So you're just giving them an opportunity to play that beatdown video once again in front of the jurors and continue to hammer home that abuse. That's not even inside. He's not even charged with abuse. Hit that like button. Look at that. Look at Street Smart still hoping and wishing. Street Smart, you still hoping and wishing, hanging on. Street Smart, he's hoping and wishing. Street Smarts, he wants a conviction by any means necessary. Maybe the states. Please, New York State. I knew Raze would be live. Oh hell yeah, Raze be live. Predicate acts are in charge. Yeah, I'm explaining all that. But TK, listen, you have to give the defense credit. You have to slap the feds in the mouth a little bit, TK. These are convoluted charges, bro. They brung in Kid Cudi to testify that Diddy Arson this man's car, and they're dropping that. Twist it, turn it any way you want, TK. They brung Kid Cudi in there to testify that Diddy Arson the car, and Arson falls underneath the RICO. Twist it, try to sugarcoat it any way you can. Diddy's defense team is going to run with this on Friday or Thursday tomorrow when they get a chance to put out their closing statements, TK. They flew Kid Cudi in to testify that Diddy Arson his car. You can't just say, "Oh, that's no big deal." Pretty much, you're trying to. I think the Diddy people that been wanting Diddy to go down for this stuff, they're trying to twist it like, "Oh, this is no big deal." Are y'all kidding me? You guys are delusional. They flew Kid Cudi in here for the sole purpose to testify that his car got burned down. To prove arson. Absolute delusional. See the bias? That's why we're not biased over here. We are not biased over here. Not in this candle. Like I said, take that stuff over to Tisa Tells. If you want bias reporting, if you guys want to, have y'all Diddy is done meeting for 24 hours straight, go over to Tisa Tells. Not over here. Diddy is not guilty. He should be a free man, says Apex Traveler. Yeah, I say go ahead and release him now. Now, before we're just saying, 3 to 5 years, a plea deal, I'll go ahead because he did beat her up. But even though, like I said, the beating up stuff, she got paid $20 million. Really, 30 million she got paid because of the 10 million she got from the hotel. And but I'm like, well, yeah, go ahead and put him in 3 years, not 15 years of life. And I'm like, well, but the thing is, he's not even charged for beating her up. So I was just throwing him a bone. I'm like, well, yeah, all right, he's a bad guy. He's a woman abuser. So let him sit for 3 years. But now I'm to the point now, I'm like, you know what? Nah, just 10 years probation, whatever. And to be honest with you, I don't even know why does he even deserve 10 years probation? More like 5 years probation. Because like I said, Bad Boy is not a criminal organization. So even giving him 10 years probation and no more jail time, I think that'll be a miscarriage of justice at this point. Why are we rewarding the feds for bringing on these ridiculous racketeering charges? Why should he have to do any probation? I think the judge should just throw out the whole damn case, which he's not, because the judge seems to be in a he doesn't like Diddy. It seems like the judge don't like. It seems like the judge is on the Fed side, so he's not going to throw the case out at all. He's not going to acquit him. But it's like, why should the feds get any credit, and why should the feds be allowed to get any probation, handed out? When they haven't proven that Diddy's Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization that deserved a RICO case dropped on their heads anyway from the beginning. Diddy walks. OJ Jura says, let me see. Yeah, why? So I was like, well, maybe he get the Young Thug 15 years probation. Why even give him 15 years probation? If I feel that this is racketeering should not have been brought forth anyway. So why should he even sign a deal for 15 years probation and no more jail time? At this point, it's like he should just be acquitted. Walk, absolutely walk. Matter of fact, let me play an oldie but goodie. And people didn't, this is from a lawyer from Fox News, and this was older. This is like a few weeks ago, but he made this point a few weeks ago of the possibility Diddy walking outright, just walking, like not guilty.
John Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial will resume tomorrow as a third personal assistant is set to take the stand. Over the first couple of weeks, jury members heard explosive testimony detailing the alleged physical and emotional abuse Combs caused. Let's bring in David Gelman, former prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. David, welcome.
Hey, Mike. Good to be here.
So in week 2 of testimony, jurors heard from a dozen witnesses as prosecutors try to prove sex trafficking and racketeering. What are your expectations when court resumes tomorrow?
It's going to be really interesting tomorrow when Diddy's third or fourth assistant takes a stand, and she's going to actually corroborate Kid Cudi's testimony from last week, where he said that Diddy and another associate of his bombed his Porsche years ago at his house. Now, you have to have corroboration about that because nobody can put Diddy there. And in fact, nobody even can say Diddy's the actual one who did it. But if they can say that Diddy or an associate of his did it, then you may have a racketeering charge there. Because right now, as it stands, Mike, nothing, and I mean nothing, is sticking to Diddy.
Diddy's lawyers are trying to make the case that his escapades do not amount to federal crimes. How difficult is that argument?
I think they're doing a fantastic job, honestly. Look, everybody has said, and Diddy's lawyers even said it in their opening statement, Diddy is not a good guy. There's a lot of domestic violence that occurred between him and Cassie in their relationship. However, what we've heard so far from the testimony of Cassie and the other individuals does not amount to the federal charges that he's being charged with right now. I'm not going to say anything that we heard is very good because it's all horrific. However, the state or the government in this particular instance needs to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he conspired to racketeer, to sex traffic, and to promote prostitution. So far, they're falling way behind in this. And I know there's a lot more to go in this trial because they're saying it's going to be about 8 weeks. But the government really better step on the gas because they don't have a lot more time to go.
So the play seems to be maybe admit to a state crime that avoids prison time. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Look, again, you're hearing about all this domestic violence, but all that has nothing to do with what Diddy is charged with. There's a possibility, and I'm saying a very strong possibility right now, that Diddy could walk, that he could be spending 4th of July at home having a barbecue.
Interesting. David Gelman, thank you very much for your analysis today.
Boom! Diddy could walk. That was a former prosecutor, guys. Hit that like button, guys. Hit it. Diddy could be spending 4th of July at home And that was like a few weeks ago. That was a few weeks ago, and it's coming to fruition. Diddy could walk, guys. I would never have thought in a million years when he first was arrested, and I heard all the charges and I seen all the allegations and all the lawsuits, Tony Busby, and oh, they're gonna drag Jay-Z in it and all this. Guys, we are here, one day out from closing arguments. I agree with that prosecutor. Somehow, some way, Diddy could walk and be home for 4th of July. After seeing all the evidence, after now the feds backtracking, Diddy's defense team doing a masterful job using the less is more tactic. Yeah, see, if he was smart, he believed the country. Yeah, because you know, just in case they try to hit him with some state charges, fly out to where you know, the former Def Jam Records you know, CEO is hiding out there inside Bali, Indonesia, where there's no extradition treaty. And matter of fact, become a citizen of Bali, like Russell Simmons did. Because yeah. Guys, I'm just here, and guys, you know, instead of the Deeds don't want to take that L. Diddy will plead guilty with time served. Says, yeah, and I know they don't want to take an L. They don't want to take an L, so they're gonna try to get on the plead out. They don't want to be embarrassed. You know, I know, you know, it is what it is. Let me see. He's going to get 3 years or less. Says Sunday Night Smoke. Shout out to you, Sunday Night Smoke. That's my prediction. But I'm like, why even give him any? Like I said, like you heard the prosecution. The things that we want to nail him on, the things that I would want to nail him on was beating up Cassie, as if I was a juror. But I don't even have the opportunity because you didn't charge him for beating up Cassie Ventura. So why am I even giving him 3 years? I don't believe that Bad Boy Records is a criminal enterprise. So at this point, I don't even want to give him 3 years. Because now I'm to the point now, is like, you know what? These witnesses y'all brung in is shady witnesses. And why should I reward the feds? Why should I reward them by even giving them 3 years on a charge of beating up Cassie? I could, but I don't want to now, because now I just feel like, you know, now I just changed my mind. I don't even want to give him 3 years. I was saying 3 years because to get revenge for Cassie, but she's been paid off $20 million, $10 million in for the hotel. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bring the proper charges, you know, like Ray J was saying.
I feel like it's becoming a circus act for stuff that doesn't make any sense for what Diddy's being charged for. I mean, there's a lot of bad things happening, and we all agree with that. But a RICO, racketeering, sex trafficking, like, I've been with Diddy a long time. And if I haven't seen any of these kind of heinous acts happening, then where was I when it was happening? If you told me that the Kardashians was being charged for racketeering, I might believe it. But Diddy, sex trafficking, and all these other extra things, like, it's, to me, knowing him, knowing the situation, being around with most of the people that's testifying, you know, I just feel like there's somebody at the top who's making a statement, who's making a point. I'm sure Diddy got the point. Free Diddy, he got the point. He's chilling now.
That's not how it works.
I mean, man, I know, I get it, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, it's not okay to throw something extra on a man when the charges could have been something totally different.
And I agree. I agree with the prophet Ray J. I agree with the prophet Ray J. Ray J is a prophet. Man, like he threw the Kardashians underneath the bus. That's for sure. You know, darkness can never hide from light. He's going to have to pay for what he did. Vicky, there's no evidence that Justin Bieber was hurt. See? And this comes back to when Diddy was first arrested, all the Justin Bieber stuff, the rumors and the memes and everybody having fun with it. And, you know, obviously Justin Bieber must testify and bury Diddy, but come to find out all was fake news. We were all gaslit, guys. Hit the like button. And some people just don't want to let it go. Some people just not going to let it go. They're going to go down with the ship. And we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, closing statements starting tomorrow from both sides. We'll see if they finish up in time for Friday to see if it could go to the jurors by Friday. I'm going to be out there, guys. I'm going to be out there. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a media circus out there. He tried to leave the country already. It ain't work. Hey, like I said, if he does walk out of here, he should make plans to fly. Spend 4th of July in Bali, Indonesia with Russell Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Before the state try to get him. Oh, man. Guys, I believe there's more hardcore evidence of Cassie being a goon than probably Diddy at this point. Well, you know, there's video of him being a domestic abuser. But as far as being a goon, putting hits on people, there's actually more tangible evidence of Cassie being a goon more than Diddy in his own trial. You know why? Listen to this of what Cassie was saying to this guy threatening to unalive and kill this guy.
So you're telling me that he showed you a video of who kidnapped Cassie? Then that's not a real video because he's never
in that position. You would have been naked. I'm just saying if you.
So
were,
he's in the video.
I'm saying if I had a picture.
Is he in the video?
Yeah, but I'm saying if I had a picture.
Then that's not me.
But I'm just saying, look, hold on. You have to understand. If I had a picture of you naked.
If there's a picture of me naked, that's completely different than a video of me.
So
the video that he showed you, he's in it.
Yeah, we can try to pull it.
How are you gonna? Oh no, your phones are right here.
Try to pull it. You can try to pull it. You can try to pull it.
On the internet?
Yeah, you can try to pull it.
Where?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, which phone?
You can bring
the Samsung?
Yeah, you can bring it.
So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
I saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
no, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
Oh, revelations. Revelations. Look at this poor victim, Cassie. Look at this. So there's technically in this Diddy criminal trial, there's more evidence, more tangible evidence, and not circumstantial, not word of mouth. We heard all the word of mouth stuff about Diddy doing this and Diddy doing that they can't prove because they have no actual physical audio, no video evidence of Diddy doing that stuff. But they played this in the courtroom. They have more physical evidence of Cassie being a violent criminal than Diddy. They have more evidence of Cassie in her own words on audio. They don't have Diddy saying this stuff on audio or on video. They just have circumstantial evidence of people testifying that he was saying this type of stuff. They have zero real evidence. They got more evidence on Cassie. Throw this case out, judge, which he's not. This is crazy. This is crazy, Brandon Stark. They got more evidence, tangible evidence of Cassie being able to order a hit on somebody or threatening to order to unalive somebody than they do of Diddy. You can't make this stuff up. You're not going to hear this on Tisa Tells. You're not going to hear it on those other channels that want to bury Diddy. They actually have more evidence of Cassie being able to order hits on people, being a criminal gang leader than they do of Diddy. You can't make this stuff up. Judge, throw this case out. He's not, though. He's not going to do it. You all betrayed Diddy now. He getting out. How you feel? I might be wrong, but I don't see Diddy being charged with RICO. You can't charge someone with a crime because of social media outrage. Well, he's already charged, Eric. You mean convicted? You mean convicted? So it's up to the jurors now. He's already charged with the RICO. So we already passed that. He's already been charged with it. So, Eric, easy, shout out to you. You know, I know what you mean. You mean convicted. Diddy is not getting out. He is still facing 3 more serious charges. Well, tell it to the jury. It's coming down. We're going to see on Friday. It's all going to come down to the closing statements. Diddy's defense team is going to use this as evidence that the feds did not prove their case. Like I said, hell, I don't even believe Diddy's organization is a criminal organization. I don't even believe that this is a federal RICO Racketeering. So they need to throw out the charges. We'll see how the jury takes to this. Surely they could get 2 or 3. Probably, I was saying 1. They could probably get 3 or 4 jurors to say, yeah, not guilty. So on the major charges. So they might get him on a Mann Act, which is up to 10 years for the prostitution and stuff like that. That's up to 10 years. So the judge could sentence him anywhere from time served up to 10 years on that. But let me see. Cassie is a bad boy gangster for life. She the real junior mafia. Lil Kim says Debo to God. Yeah. I mean, woo. Let me see. Daughter of Diddy, Jabbar Banks. Cassie FaceTime her husband screwing Diddy raw. All right, now y'all got to meet Diddy face to face. Diddy. So Brandon Stark says he's walking 100% convinced now. What the F says D? Hey, I'll bring the receipts. Cassie, they got more solid evidence of Cassie. Now I'm just making a point. Now Cassie is not charged with anything. What I'm saying is, it's ironic that the biggest evidence of somebody being a ringleader for a criminal organization, able to order hits on somebody, is Cassie with her own words on audio recording. They don't got that. They don't. Can you imagine if that was Diddy on those audio recordings? Can you imagine if that was Diddy and not Cassie threatening to unalive somebody and cut them up in pieces? Can you imagine the outrage? Can you imagine? Well, even me, I'd be like, well, yeah, Diddy, they got you red-handed. Diddy, you're threatening to kill somebody and unalive them. Diddy, they got you. Diddy, I mean, you're saying that you can have them go missing. They got you. But since this is Cassie, I think she meant that. Oh no, Diddy is the Diddy Razor. Cassie didn't mean what she said. No, Cassie, she was just mad. She's the real victim. Razor. Shut up. Yeah, Ray J was low-key snitching on on the Kardashians. Wow. Woo! Francisco says that is a fact, Razor Raze. They have more evidence on Cassie. If that was Diddy case would have already been closed. Crazy. Yeah, it's funny. It's ironic. Now, like I said, they got circumstantial evidence on Diddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, And now the jurors can assume Diddy was, you know, they can assume that the witnesses were telling the truth, that Diddy was saying this and Diddy was saying that. But what I'm saying is, I'm making a point that they got more physical evidence of Cassie. You know what I'm saying? Now you could say, well, they got the evidence of him beating up on Cassie. But like I said, that evidence of him beating up on Cassie, which is physical evidence on camera, that's not a criminal organization type thing. That's a domestic violence type thing. And he's not even charged with the domestic violence. The thing that if I was in a jury, that I would get him on and I would gladly find him guilty on was that domestic violence video. But unfortunately, he's not even charged with domestic violence. So now those jurors got to say, look, we were all disgusted by the domestic violence, but do I want to find him guilty of RICO Racketeering conspiracy just to get payback for him beating up Cassie? That's where we at right now. Or you're going to get all 12 jurors to do it just so they can get some revenge for Cassie. You know, or just because it left a bad taste in the juror's mouth about the beatdown of Cassie. Is that fair? Well, the jury, they're human. They can do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be given instructions by the judge today. But, you know, jurors going to be human. They're going to do whatever they want. And that's where we at right now with it. I can't wait either, Zeb. And I want you to be here when we see the verdict. You know what I'm saying? If he found guilty on all counts, I'm coming back live. I'm going to be live at the courthouse. I'm going to let y'all gloat. Y'all can gloat. Say, Raze, you were wrong. Raze this. Now, listen. I don't know how the jury is going to decide. I don't know. So I have no control of what the jury could come back and say guilty on all charges. I mean, I don't know how they're going to think. I'm putting my opinion on how I would if I was in a jury. That's all I can do, because nobody knows how those 12 jurors is going to decide the fate of Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And if they all come back and say guilty, I'm like, well, I mean, nothing I can do about it. They felt that he's guilty. They felt those 12 people, they felt he's guilty. He's guilty then. All right. I still would say I would have voted not guilty. So it still wouldn't change the fact that I would have voted not guilty. So. Kativa Williams. Diddy sick AF. Yeah, wait, Diddy, you could say Diddy is sick as far as his sex addiction, his drug addiction. He has some crazy sick fetishes. He's a swinger. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can say that. You definitely could say that. Kid Cudi ratted for nothing. He was just proud to admit he was smashing Cassie to the public. Yeah, they bought Kid Cudi out there for nothing. Fireworks and dildos on the way. Yeah, he better do that. He better do that in Bali, Indonesia, though. Sunday Night Smoke. He better get his passport bro on Sunday Night Smoke. just in case those state charges get introduced. You know what I'm saying? He better take that abroad. Barbara says all the charges are up except for the ones that was for one person's claims. Well, the ones that are dropped, the partial ones of the job. See, the jurors is not gonna see when people are saying, well, they prove arson. No, they did not prove arson. Just because somebody comes and testifies that Diddy did this and Diddy did that, doesn't mean that they actually proved it. Now, you can say the jurors could believe Kid Cudi. That's all I've been saying. But they haven't 100% proved anything. The Capricorn Clark, her saying that she was held against her will for a few days, forced to do lie detector tests. They dropped that because she has no proof, no documents. Now, like I've been saying since the beginning, I said, well, the jurors can decide to believe her or not, but there's no hardcore evidence that he actually did that. That's all I've been saying. I've been keeping it neutral. But now, after seeing the whole thing, I think they should just drop the whole thing, because I don't believe, from what I'm seeing, Bad Boy Records as a whole was not a criminal enterprise. And that's what the case is about. That's why the feds pursued it. I'm hearing that the feds couldn't pursue him on tax evasion and stuff like that. They couldn't get him on tax evasion, so they went this route. For some reason, the feds had it in for him. They wanted to bring him down, so they're trying to draw anything at the wall to stick to bring him down. And I don't believe that's right. I believe Diddy should just be let go because the federal RICO Racketeering was unjust, because I don't see Bad Boy Records as a criminal enterprise, and you're trying to get him on running a criminal enterprise. The charges don't fit what they are accusing Bad Boy Records of being. It's overreach. It's copy and paste. It's a copy and paste type case. And shout out to my guy Big Super. I agree 100% with Big Super on this, that Diddy should walk. After seeing the evidence. Look, we had the trial. We are at the end of the trial. I gave them a chance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's Cassie talking like that. Talk about she unalive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The prosecution feels like the jury doesn't understand what sex trafficking is good enough to say their accounts. You'll be there. I'll be there, Zeb. Yeah, you'll be here. Yeah, you'll be here. Yeah. You know, come back. You know, when they release, say you might. Yeah, Zeb. Like I said, I don't know what the jury's gonna do. I just hope the jurors have some common sense. That's what Diddy's defense team is hoping on and banking on, that common sense will prevail for some of those people on the jury. All they need is one, but I think they'll get a few to say, you know what? Nah, we not, you know. Hey, Ray J is Nostradamus. People on social media acting like Diddy paid them to do a freak off. We all know couples going through domestic violence. No one thinks either of them should go to prison for RICO. Yeah. Yeah. They should go to prison for domestic violence. You know, like I said, charge them properly, and I'll be all on board for that without a shadow of a doubt. I have zero problem with that. I just think that the federal racketeering portion of this sets a horrible precedent for the United States of America justice system. Because if they let this go, and if they successful with this, they can drop the atomic bomb on anybody, on any business, on any business. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that gets rich, makes money, they can start snooping in and looking into their sex life, bringing up ex-girlfriends to try to form. So this sets a precedent for future cases. You know what I'm saying? You know, so when they try to drop these cases on people's heads, they're going to go back to the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking case and use this as a reference to drop these type of atom bomb racketeering charges on other people. That's what I want to prevent. It's not that I like Diddy at all. I would never hang out with Diddy. He's not my type of guy. I think he's trouble. I think he's the type of guy to drag you into stuff. I think his sex life is weird. I think the way he moves is reckless. You know what I'm saying? I think he gets into beefs with people. And if you're around him, you know, you're going to get dragged into his beef. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be around that. You know what I mean? But as far as racketeering, this is a total stretch. And I believe I don't want the Fed to be successful with this because of the bad precedent that it will, you know, put out there. You know what I'm saying? And for the future. Let's take a listen. I got something. Let's take a listen to what this guy had to say, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, they're going to argue negligence. They're going to argue some negligence, not necessarily legally, but they're going to say, hey, these women knew what they were signing up for, and there were good things and bad things that could come out of that. They knew that, and they took the risk knowingly. I think this is going to be an interesting case, and I think the defense has to be very careful to not push too hard on excusing behavior. Sometimes a modified mea culpa can go a long way towards buying credibility on some of the actionable charges. And by modified mea culpa, I mean saying, look, that wasn't his finest hour. He didn't behave well here. But how does that go to what he's charged with? Because there are RICO charges here, but yet he's the only one charged. So who was he? Where are the other parties?
Where's the enterprise?
Yeah, who is he enterprising with if he's the only one charged?
Yeah.
It just seems this is going to be very interesting to see how this is proved up. And what are the instructions going to be from the judge, and what are the definitions going to be on the charges? People sometimes forget, they don't go back and say guilty or innocent. As you know, they go back there and there are a lot of definitions they have to go through. Did they prove this element, this element, this element? If yes, then go here. If no, go to page 14. I mean, it's a very complex situation, as you know.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one for the jury, and I agree with you. Trying to do that sort of modified mea culpa, which is what the defense is trying to do. They're literally trying to walk that fine line, saying, "Oh, yes, he did domestic violence, but he didn't do these charges." That's a hard one with the jury. You have to be very careful with that.
It is, but if he can admit to things that he's not charged with, he can buy credibility when he denies things he is charged with. And that's a subtlety sometimes the jury doesn't pick up on. Well,
Boom, right there. That was Dr. Phil, and I agree 100% with Dr. Phil. Admit to domestic violence, since you're not charged with it, and you're on video anyway, which they have been saying, you know, he had a bad day that day. He was trying to retrieve his phone from her. There was no kidnapping. That's why they dropped the kidnapping portion of that. They were trying to say, the feds were trying to say he was kidnapping her to bring her back into a freak off. Diddy's defense team said, nope, he was trying to retrieve his bag, his phone. And once he retrieved it, he let her go. The sex act was already over. They already did the freak off already inside the room. So he wasn't, there was no need to kidnap her and bring her back into the room to engage in a freak off. They already had the sex act, according to Diddy's lawyers. And they put that out there yesterday. So, here we are right now. Woo! It is going to be good. Oh, man. Might have a verdict on Friday. You might have a verdict on Friday, guys. Not a huge win, no. They just want to focus on the stuff they can without a doubt prove. Feds not into losing. Stacks De Niro. Now, let me ask you this, Stacks De Niro. This is a huge win because Diddy's defense team is going to use this and put this in front of the jurors and say, look, they haven't proven their case. This is what we've been telling you guys, jurors. If they didn't prove he kidnapped her, Cassie or Capricorn Clark, they didn't prove Arson, even though they bring, this is just more evidence for the jurors to look at. Just because the feds bring in witnesses that claim all this stuff happened, that doesn't mean that that's 100% proof. So just because people come up there saying Diddy did this, Diddy did that, without any proof, without any police records, without any video evidence or audio evidence, that does not mean that that should be 100% gospel, jurors. That should not mean that the feds have proven their case just because people come up there to testify that it happened without hardcore evidence. This is a massive win for the defense. Massive win for the defense. Massive. Because now the jury is going to be like, well, all these people testifying, we don't have to believe a word they said. We could just find them not guilty on this stuff because precedent has been set already in this trial where people that actually went up there and testified that they were kidnapped, that Diddy did arson, the feds had to drop those portions. So we don't feel pressured to find them guilty. Now we understand. I understand clearly as a juror. I'm not beholden to find them guilty just because some people came up there to testify that Diddy did this. This is a huge, gigantic win. But we'll see. We'll see what the jury, like I said, I can't predict exactly what the jury is going to say. Nobody can. You know what I'm saying? So, nobody can. Maybe they get all 12 to say guilty in all charges. I don't know. I doubt it because it's so convoluted and charges are so convoluted and this and that. It just, where's Gene Deal says Debo to God? Dr. Phil not a real doctor. Tell him that to his face, Knockout. You would never tell Dr. Phil he's not a real doctor to his face, Knockout. Oh man, let me stop playing around with you guys, man. This is fun, man. Man, we about to be here though. J.O. the boss. There will be a verdict. That's the only true prediction. Yeah, that's the only true prediction. Because I don't know. These are human beings. I don't know. I could just say what I would have done if I was in the jury. You know what I'm saying? The only true prediction is that there will be a verdict. Yeah, you are right. You are right. The Fed's been losing lately. I have no effing love for Diddy, but they didn't prove anything in that trial other than he a real weirdo. Yeah, if they didn't prove that Bad Boy Records is indeed a criminal organization, this whole case is a disaster. And the judge should just throw it out. But this judge, he's not going to throw it out. The judge is not going to throw it out. He should, because the judge should be able to see that Bad Boy Records, according to this testimony, is not a criminal organization. They did not conspire to join Bad Boy Records to do crimes like they do in a mob, the mafia. Because like I said, when you sign up to the mob, the mafia, you are joining up knowing that you are getting into a criminal organization to do criminal acts, thus racketeering, thus, you being found guilty of engaging in thuggery, engaging in a gang, charging Bad Boy Records and Diddy with this type of stuff. It is a far overreach. And that's what so many people have been saying. Where is the RICO? But Raze, they have text messages of Diddy telling his workers to buy baby oil and buy some mollies for him so he can party. RICO proven, Raze. RICO is proven. Nope. Because first you had to prove that Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization to begin with, which it is not. Crazy overreaching, and I am appalled that the government would bring this RICO racketeering charge to Bad Boy Records like that. If they get away with this, if they win this, boy, it's going to be a lot of companies going down. Horrible precedent. Wasting our tax dollars. RICO Suave. No way they're throwing it out. Diddler lover. See, when I state the facts and be unbiased, you're a diddler lover, Raze. You Diddy bopping Raze. Well, why aren't you addressing the kidnapping and arson being dropped? Why aren't you, Diddy hater? You're a biased Diddy hater, and you are willing to allow the government to drop crazy, insane racketeering charges on the guy just because you hate him. David, did Diddy touch you? Why are you so mad? Did Diddy do something to you, David? Did Diddy diddle you, David? Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad at Diddy? Did Diddy freak off on you, David, for you to be so mad? To root for racketeering charges? I done said, look, if he gets hit with 3 years, okay, fine, because I don't appreciate him beating up Cassie like that. But charge the guy properly. I'm saying not because I like Diddy. I'm saying it brings a bad precedent to the justice system in the United States of America. What is it so hard for you to understand, David? Why do I have to be a Diddy lover when I'm trying to make a point about setting a bad precedent? David, if you was on trial for this, I don't know you from Adam. I would tell, if the facts were the same about you, David Anderson, and it was you instead of Diddy up there, I say drop the charges against David Anderson. What is it so hard for you guys to understand? Am I speaking over your heads? Do I have to dumb myself down and start speaking Ebonics so you can understand, David? Did he diddle you, David? Because you big mad. You big mad because Diddy got a huge win in court today. We coming back live later on. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Huge win. Huge win. We will be live from the courthouse tomorrow. Great coverage of the case, brother, says Brandon Clark's stocks passport, the $5 donation. Shout out to you, Brandon. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. I like the back and forth. The predicate was amended for RICO charges. There were never arson or kidnapping charges or Sean Diddy Combs. This is force. This is once again, James. Once again, you are reaching. You are trying to cope. This is my fault, not James. Jesse, what's that? Jessamas. What's that? Jessames is your name. You are reaching. You are coping. They brung in Kid Cudi to testify that he did arson. Arson falls underneath RICO. They were trying to prove that he did arson. This is a huge loss for your guys, for your team. Try to twist it any way, which way you can. Any way, which way you want. Your side lost. Twist it, turn it. The feds lost on this. They flew in Kid Cudi to testify that this man did arson. People in my chat, on my panel, were saying, well, Raze, don't you agree that they prove arson? Well, I'm like, well, the guy testified that he burnt his car. They didn't have no evidence, though, of it. It was a female DNA. They didn't prove it. So now that they dropped that portion, you come in here, just some ass, trying to downplay it, acting like it's no big deal that he was not charged. It's in the charges, the arson. Is a predicate to bring forth and have Kid Cudi come in here and testify of the arson. If arson wasn't part of it, why bring Kid Cudi in to even testify to the arson? Because they were trying to nail him on arson. You can't twist this. Kid Cudi said, did he arson and kidnap the house dog? Yeah, they were trying to prove that he did that. No, Sherlock. I know it's a predicate, not a charge, but it's a predicate that, oh my God. Oh my God. They tried to prove the arson as a predicate to the RICO. They are forced to drop it. They did not prove it. They said, let's drop it before the judge drop it because that Rule 29 is still out there. Diddy's defense team said, yo, they have not proven any of these things. So, judge, we request that you drop the charges. Just acquit them. So, the prosecutor said, all right, let's get out in front of this and let's drop some of the stuff that we did not prove. Kidnapping. What do you got to say about the kidnapping, Jess? So you're going to tell me, oh, kidnapping wasn't in the charges either, Jesse? Kidnapping? Come on. Come on. Yeah, just take this L. Everybody that want to see Diddy buried, take the L. You're looking bad right now. You're looking bad trying to defend the feds on this. The feds got to take this L, hold this L for the day. We'll see what the jury, we'll see closing statements. We'll see closing statements, but you got to hold this L for at least right now. You got to hold this L. Kid Cudi should be jailed for trash music. Kid Cudi fell in love with Cassie, and she was by Diddy's house doing a freak off. Not guilty, and we filthy. Not sure if he wins anything in the end. Well, we'll see. It's going to go down to the 12 jurors. And for people that's saying it's not a charge, well, you need to go over to TMZ.com, right? Since y'all so hell-bent on, well, not all of you guys, but some people that's still holding out hope that Diddy is guilty. TMZ, prosecutors dropping kidnapping, arson, certain sex trafficking charges. Send TMZ an email and tell them that he wasn't charged. He wasn't charged with arson. He wasn't charged with kidnapping. Y'all guys wasn't saying that. Y'all guys wasn't saying that before. Y'all was saying they proved arson. They proved he kidnapped Cassie. They proved he kidnapped what's the Capricorn Clark. Y'all wasn't saying that. Y'all wasn't saying oh he's not charged with kidnapping and arson. Y'all wasn't saying that before when Kid Cudi was up there. Y'all were like, no, they proved it. They proved it. He's guilty of RICO. He's guilty of RICO. They proved it. But now that they dropped that, oh, that wasn't in the charges, Raze. That's not part of the charges. Take that propaganda to Tisa Tells. Y'all are on the wrong channel coming over here with that garbage propaganda. I shall not hear it. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden it wasn't part of the charges, Razor. It's a predicate. Nothing to see here, Raze. Nothing to see here. Y'all wasn't saying that when they were trying to prove it. When they were trying to prove the kidnapping of Capricorn Clark and Cassie. Y'all wasn't saying that. Y'all wasn't coming to his defense. Oh, it's not part of the charges. It's not part of the charges. So Raze. No, it was all part of the charges back then. It was when Kid Cudi was up there. It was all part of the charges. He's guilty. It falls underneath RICO. Matter of fact, I had the list of charges that falls underneath RICO, right there. Yeah, arson at the top. Arson right there. Crimes that are covered by the RICO Act. Arson at the very top list. I bring receipts over here. Huge victory for Diddy's team today. Now we'll see how long it lasts because it has to go to those 12 jurors, and we're going to be out there to cover it live in person. It seems like some people just want to see this man go down. Success breed envy. Yeah, and that's a shame. The black community, it's not even white people that want to see him go down. Their own black people want to see him go down. I don't mind you wanting to see them go down if they prove the case. If they prove he did the things they're accusing him of doing, if they actually have proof that Bad Boy was a criminal organization, yeah, I mean, fine. You can see him go down. You know, if you black, see him go down. Let him burn. But if they ain't proving it, why are you debating? Why are you still holding on hope to see this black man go down? When they haven't proved, they not proving their case against them. So that shows some biasness and some hating. Ninjas hate on other ninjas all the time, Craig. I mean, it is what it is. That's just a hating culture. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, I know about the 50 Cent stuff. About the Jane Doe stuff. Debo the God. You know, that's wild. That is wild. Oh man. And I agree with you, my friend. If they prove the case, give him what he got coming. But until then, get a man a chance because of all the stuff that they came out with first. I thought people were innocent until proven guilty in this country, and he's being, you know, and from what I'm seeing in this trial, I'm giving it a fair shake, guys. I just can't. I can't come up here and lie to you guys and say he's done when it's the total opposite. You got other channels running around talking about the man is cooperating with the government. People just make stuff up for clicks and views. Now, oh yeah, so now they're saying those same channels that was saying, like Tisa Tells and them, that was saying that he's done. Oh, now he's cooperating. Now he's snitching. Now he's cooperating with the feds for them to be dropping these charges and dropping these predicates and stuff like that. Guys, what? Well, it's all being placed in front of you. We will see what happens come Friday, Monday, whenever the jury comes back with the verdict. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be interesting. Let's say the least. Like I said, I can't predict what the jury is gonna do. I just say, hopefully, some of those jurors have common sense, because not all the jurors going to have common sense. Some of those people in the jury is going to feel like some of the people that are hating and wanting to see Diddy buried. That is going to cheerlead for the government. No matter what witnesses they bring up there, going to cheerlead for the government. So you're going to get those type of jurors. They are human. They are human. And you're going to have some of the jurors hopefully think like us. Like, you know what? Not guilty. I'll practice in jury notification. A matter of fact, you don't even have to practice jury notification. They could just say the reason they're saying not guilty is because they don't believe they prove RICO. They didn't prove racketeering. So what? Just because you see phone calls and text messages, okay, yeah, his employees did stuff for him that may have been criminal, but that doesn't prove RICO, because Bad Boy Records is not a criminal organization. Those were just employees. So they could just say not guilty. They don't have to practice jury notification, say they don't agree with the charges. They could say not guilty because the government did not prove that Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization, thus making the racketeering and RICO null and void. So I find not guilty. Yes, spinning the narrative. That's it. Spinning. So now, just because they dropped some of this, now he's snitching, he's cooperating with the Fed. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and it's never gonna stop. It's never gonna stop, Desmond. Never gonna stop. This is the first one-man RICO I've ever seen. Yes. Yes, I mean it's wild. It sets a bad precedent, Debo the God. It sets a horrible precedent if this is successful. Now people trying to spin a narrative. It can't possibly be that the feds just didn't prove their case. He must be paying off people. He must be buying off people. He must be cooperating. No, it can't just be that maybe his defense team is doing a great job. It can't be that. It can't be that. He has to. It gotta be. Oh no, he's cooperating. He's paying off. He's paying his way out. It gotta be some type of conspiracy. This can't be happening. Vanessa, just not 15 years of life type stuff, what you just said, Vanessa. So, I mean, you know, there's not 15 years of life type allegations you just said. And even if he did sleep with dudes, that's not give him 15 years of life. Doing drugs for personal use, yeah, that's some drug possession. That's not drug trafficking. So yeah, so you could take that over to Tisa Tells, Vanessa. But I'm glad you came through. Q from Day 26 said Dawn Richards drugged him, not Diddy. Yeah, like, guys, I'm about to end this live. Hit that like button. Anybody new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Why he got to pay a jury for this week case. The media sensationalized the case from the jump. Yes, we were all gaslit, and we are here. Gave it a chance, and we'll see what happens. We will be live from the Diddy trial starting tomorrow again. Coming back live from the Diddy trial, and where the prosecution is going to give their final closing statements. And if there's time tomorrow, Diddy's defense will start their closing statements. Then it's going to go to the jury, and we will be on our verdict watch. We will be on our verdict. Big Super, you were right, Big Super. What do you got this? Big Super, I don't know if you want to come up real quick, Big Super, before I was going to end it. But if you got time, Big Super, you can come up. Because I believe Diddy is winning right now, 100%. I believe the feds did not prove their case. I believe that Bad Boy Records is not a criminal organization. I believe that the federal racketeering charges is bogus, and that the jury should throw this out and say not guilty on all charges, because they should not have brought forth these charges to begin with. They have not proven that Bad Boy Records is indeed a criminal organization which warranted a federal RICO Racketeering conspiracy case. And that's where I stand right now after watching this trial. Hit that like button. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link. Anybody want to come up? Anybody can come up. Anybody want to come up and give your opinion on where this is going? I was going to end it, but hey, you can come up for a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to come live. If he's found guilty on all charges, I'm still coming live. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drop the link for you guys also. If he's found guilty on all charges, I'm going to drop the link. Let y'all come up here and gloat and celebrate. Hey, it is what it is. I'm unbiased over here. You know what I'm saying? If they get all 12 jurors to say guilty and on the biggest charges, hey, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to come back live. I'll let y'all come up here and celebrate. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm going to still say that I think they got it wrong. I would have, like, if I was in the jury, I would have said not guilty. But hey, if they find them all, if they all found them guilty, so be it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to lose sleep over it. You know what I'm saying? This case was not about RICO from the jump. This is and was personal and political. Hey, I can't say that you're wrong, Big Super. You know what I'm saying? YouTube award. Diddy gonna be free on a yacht in Miami with some new female? No, he need to be free on a yacht inside Indonesia Valley, just in case they try to hit him with state charges, bro. He need to use that passport and get the hell out of here. Or go to Cape Verde where there's no extradition treaty. He need to follow Russell Simmons. Yeah. Yep, the judge took that money. Hey, you see, now you're trying to say the judge is not the judge. The judge didn't drop the one of those charges, the predicate charges. It was the prosecution, the prosecutors. Now, you know, and I know if the prosecution thought they actually proved the kidnapping and arson, that they wouldn't be dropping that portion of that, you know, of the RICO. And also the aiding and abetting of the sex trafficking. They wouldn't have dropped that. Yeah, we know they 100%. You know, I'm tired. Oh my God. Oh God. I'm not even gonna. Diddy needs to go to Valley Facts. Debo to God. What up, Debo to God? Salute.
Yo, what's poppin'? You can hear me, bro?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Debo the God is here. Salute.
Yeah, salute, man. Just looking at the coverage, dog, you said it perfectly, man. I feel like if
So you're
anything,
telling me that he
Cassie's
saw.
accomplice. She called hookers, she paid off hookers, scheduled freak offs, threatened people lives. So how is she just gonna get scot free? Trying and got paid $20 million. I'm starting to believe he should have never gave her that lawsuit in the first place.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So you don't like the coverage of this?
No, I mean they spinning it, bro. They spinning it, and anytime some charges get dropped, people getting mad as hell. Why you mad? Because they can't nail the case down on them. They're showing that the proof isn't really getting to the jury like that. They trying to make all kinds of different scenarios and situations to try to pin Diddy down. Like I said, man, if anything, Diddy gonna do a year, and it's gonna be time served. So he'll probably serve a couple months and he'll get out, man. Straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. So that's your prediction, Debo to God. I believe
Yeah,
this is a copy and paste charges. The
yeah,
feds are trying to copy and paste some charges
right.
to put together a RICO racketeering case. Now, my thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe Bad Boy Records is a criminal enterprise type company for them to even bring these charges in. And what do you say? Did they prove that Bad Boy Records was a criminal enterprise to even have these charges? Even
They've been staying away from that. I haven't heard Bad Boy Records not one time in this whole case. All I've heard is Sean Combs. I've never heard them say, because before all of these freak offs, mind you, it's been rumors about these freak offs since the early 2000s, bro. They got
Mm,
interviews about what Diddy was about back in the early, like the late 90s, dog. So for people to act all surprised and shocked about this shit is stupid to me, man. People know what the fuck Diddy been about, man, for years. Even his artists. Nobody spoke up because they all wanted that money, bro. All this situation was about money. Period. You feel what I'm saying? And see what they can't get him on with the Bad Boy situation is he was getting legit money before he even created Bad Boy Records with Uptown Records in
mm,
the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's messed up, dog, because when he first had got charged with these charges, I'm just sitting here looking at all these black people dragging this man in the mud because he wanted to live. You know what they say about the LGBTQ? Well, we don't judge people what they do in their rooms, in their
right.
bedroom. Well, this is exactly what the people are doing right now, judging him for what he do in his bedroom. And it's and I'm not trying to just go at women, but some of these women are the first ones to flip and say, "Oh, he gay, he this and he that." But you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody has their own selective outrage, but they want to support gay people. But then when Diddy get in a situation, oh, he's gay now. So is it good or is it bad? What y'all want to do, man? Social
Right.
media is the devil, dog. It's ruining all these people's lives. All our black icons have all died. What they trying to do? They trying to make all the wealthy black millionaires and billionaires die broke behind scandal, behind bullshit, man. They doing it to everybody, and they all do the same play. It's all behind some hoes, some cat. You know what I'm saying? It's all behind some bullshit, bro.
Yeah, and Jay Christ says from Dr. Phil and Judge Mathis, they were right. Yes. Let me see. Yeah, Debo, she wants Diddy in jail. She don't even see the weakness. Yeah, my disappointment with certain vloggers and certain people is that they are seeing the trial take place, and they are not even trying to be little bit
Uh-huh.
honest. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
but see, the thing about it is, bro. All right, if you've ever had to deal with the law, or if you've ever talked to law enforcement, or even been in a courtroom for a goddamn traffic ticket, bro, The first thing they will say, the law is the law. So your opinion, your personal feelings, you have to leave that shit at the door. If that's the case, most of these people that get charged or go to trial, these people are already guilty before innocent. You know what I'm saying? So just because you don't like what he did or how he went through with things, that doesn't dictate what this case is gonna do. It's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings when this man don't get little to no time. And they're gonna get mad about it. It's gonna be an outrage, and guess what? They're gonna go on to the next thing. This shit is not serious. It's not that serious, bro. You would think these people was involved personally the way they coming at this dude, man.
Right. And well, Jay White does make a good point, and I made this point. Cassie video made people hate Diddy and made people think he was racketeering. So they wanted to. A lot of people did not like which is fair. A lot of people did not like the tape of him beating them up, right? So once the feds charged them, you know, people already had the bad taste of the video in their mouth. So they're gonna go and root on with whatever the feds got on him. And I was looking at the jury because that's the most important. Would the jury convict him anyway of racketeering? Even though I don't believe this is that type of case, it shouldn't have been that type of case.
Right.
Would they say guilty just to punish him for beating up Cassie? What do you think?
Even with the racketeering situation, he would be having to get funds. He's supposed to be benefiting from the sex ring, right? Sex trafficking ring. That's what they're trying to make it, right?
Yeah.
He's not getting paid off it. He's coming out of his own pocket. He's not benefiting from it. That's racketeering. He's not benefiting from it. He's not benefiting through Bad Boy. And he was okay. So and I haven't even heard about the drug situation. Have anybody ever talked about drugs, guns? Because
the drug mule. Brendan Paul, they brung him in, and he said, "Look, it was just a little bit of drugs."
Right.
So they did all that. It wasn't like he was selling drugs, or anything like that. It was just like some personal use drugs. So
what I look at it like is, bro. Honestly, to be real with you, and I had a conversation at my job one time. And I was like, you know what's crazy, bro? I don't know if you remember. I don't even watch the news nowadays because the shit be so sensationalized with Trump and everything. But they had a case with the Abercrombie and Fitch CEO. I don't know if you remember that. Okay,
yes,
so
I cover that.
This is a similar thing that he's getting charged with, but it's not as politicized as much as Diddy's shit was. These old rich white dudes that's in Hollywood and in New York and different places, they so high up that nobody's paying them attention. They're doing the same things, getting away with this shit scot-free, dog. No problems. You gotta have 30 people to complain about this shit, dog. Like, come on, man. Cassie, I will say this. I kind of felt bad for Cassie, bro, because I felt like she had talent. No, she wasn't the best singer, but she had a look. I felt like just based off of her look, she could have been a star in something. Acting, modeling, something. She had that look, right? And then automatically, Diddy had made her his old lady. It's on some Rich Dollars type shit. And once he started messing with her, dog, I think she got addicted to that lifestyle. She got addicted to the money, his power, and who he was and his connections. You can't fault somebody for just falling in love with that shit, but at the same time, you can't villainize him for doing what he was doing. Yeah, he was wrong. Yeah, he a sleazebag and all that, bro. But none of this shit is a RICO charge, dog. None of this shit is a RICO. I don't see it.
It's a stretch, and I've been saying this is a stretch. I'm like, what kind of case is this? I was like, what? I was disturbed. I'm like, why are the feds even attempting this? Like, this is, I mean, they're getting away with it, but this is a big reach, and it's like, I'm like, he pissed somebody off, which we ain't gonna get into all the political stuff though.
Right.
So, but Puffy pay his taxes. They can't link Bad Boy label to any criminal enterprise. Yeah, I heard that they were trying to get they was looking into his taxes, but they couldn't get him on that because he was paying his taxes properly. And they decided to drop this hammer on him. I mean, you know, that, you know, and like I said, if not just Diddy, if anybody was hit with this, I would, if it was anybody but Diddy, and if it was the same circumstances, I'd say, you know, this is messed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm a fan of Diddy or anything like that. People talk about, you know, oh, Diddy lover. I'm like, nah, it's not. I'm not a fan of him. I kept saying that over the past few months that I would not hang out with that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not my type of guy to hang out with because I know he gets into stuff. Man, I don't
On
want to get dragged into that. You know what I mean?
on a
So
music level, Diddy has been irrelevant for the last 20 years, bro. So anybody being a fan of Diddy, yeah, look, I say this honestly, to be 100, we all grew up looking up to Diddy as far as a businessman. If you didn't know, like people think that Jay-Z was that dude back in the days, bro. Diddy had Jay-Z money back when Jay-Z was coming up. You feel what I'm saying? You got to
right,
think about that. So if anybody act like they didn't look up to Diddy at some point in their life, they lying, bro. They
right,
lying.
right.
They like a rich black young man that's making it legally. Come on, bro. That's almost unheard of, dog. Unheard of.
Yeah, and Capricorn Clark testified, you know, they show receipts that, well, then she testified that she liked the lifestyle. She liked that lifestyle. A
Exactly.
person that supposedly was kidnapped and went through all that horror, she wanted to go back to Bad Boy Records. She loved the
Man,
lifestyle.
what? She went back home to her 2-bedroom apartment with her little baby with no help and making 30,000 a year. You think she gonna leave that shit for that? Come on, bro.
Right.
But yeah, man, I just came here to speak my piece, man. I feel like, they gonna try to tear you down one way or another. When he get out, they still gonna dog him. They
Yeah.
still gonna try to bring it over his head. But I feel like he rich already. He already a made man. So fuck what everybody feel. Straight up.
Right. Yeah, Debo. Yeah, yo. Let me see. Yeah. All right. So let me not put. All right. Yeah. Shout out to you,
Peace.
Baker. Not a RICO charge. All right. Shout out to you, Debo. Salute to you, Debo. That was Debo. Thank him for coming up here and giving us some a few minutes. Not a RICO charge. Feds did this from the orders of the powers that be in Hollywood and Django. Okay. All right. The feds just said they are not pursuing kidnapping in Arson. Yes, and that's the big that's the big thing, Drew. That's the big headline, and we've been talking about that. Or since I started this live stream right there, huge win. Kidnapping and arson charges dropped. Okay, so that's the huge news right there. Prosecutors dropping kidnapping, arson, certain sex trafficking charges. It's going to be scary if he gets out, especially for the snitches. Diddy is responsible for most of the big hits from 1996 to 2000. To 2000 when? 2015. Is getting your feelings hurt a crime? Free Diddy. Diddy was the dude in the late 90s, says Steven. Those charges dropped because Diddy can appeal and he had the Trump card in his back pocket. They didn't want Trump to pardon a second person. They had a unofficial pardon for Eric Adams. The prosecution has to hang on to something just in case they get lucky, LOL. His mama is covering his finances too. This man covered all his tracks. If Diddy gets out, he needs to leave the country for a few months and stay out of the spotlight. Yeah, that would be my suggestion to him if he is able to walk out of there and be home for 4th of July. I would suggest don't be home for 4th of July. Be overseas in Bali, Indonesia with Russell Simmons for 4th of July. Oh, man. But shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to Brandon Clark Stocks. passport. Salute to everybody for watching. This has been fun. We're going to continue to cover this over the next few days. It's coming to an end. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And anything else major breaks today, we come back live on this. We got some travel space stuff to talk about also, probably later on today. But if anything breaks major with the Diddy case yet again, we will be back live. You know what I'm saying? We'll be live from the courthouse tomorrow for the closing statements, and we're going to be on our verdict watch. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you for your donations over the past week through the Cash App. I appreciate it. Also, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'm Raze, and I am out.